Greetings and salutations to the fans. Welcome into our first broadcast of the day. We got Kaipi taking on Team Empire here in the Western qualifiers of the G-1 Champions League. Now, we had some technical problems yesterday. Hopefully, we're going to get through today without having to have a repeat of AC story time, though I did very much enjoy taking questions from you guys. And that's something I'm going to try to work in, even if it's not just reserved for downtimes. But either way, got a very fun match ahead of us to begin with. Kaipi and Empire. Kaipi enters play today, a team considered by many to be on the come, especially since their addition of Eternal Envy a while back. They're a squad looking to earn itself a true Tier 1 reputation, and they've broken even so far here in April, splitting their 8 matches this month 4 for 4. For those who have been following the team, talent, skill, execution, that's not their problem. It's their inability to put the whole package together consistently. Now, that's not to say that they don't put it together, and they darn well do, and we'll get to that in a minute. But just because they can't do it all the time as of right now, that keeps them just below the bubble of what many consider to be the fine line between good teams and elite teams. Now, stretching back to the beginning of the year, they've had their fair share of impressive wins, putting together a kill list that includes names like Liquid, Absolute Legends, and Fnatic. Kaipi is another example of a team that when they're on, they can beat anyone. It's just a matter of flipping that switch more often than they've been able to so far. For every big win Kaipi snags, they have a tendency to give up a loss. Today, though, they have a chance to put a big win under their belt against Empire, who beat them yesterday, actually, in the big point battle semifinal. Now, Empire, they're still looking to adjust and adapt to the post-Funnic era of the team's history, and that's still underway. And as such, the team continues to be in a state of flux, to be honest. The decision to move Scandal to the off lane to free up solo mid for the legendary playmaker in Vegas is not one without its fair share of controversy. The results have been mixed, but one thing almost everyone can agree on is that the high-octane, high-pressure style that defined Empire Dota earlier this year is feeling anything but as potent and threatening as it once was. Now, their last major tournament run was in the raid called D2L, which, of course, I have the pleasure of being the lead caster for, and they were our defending champions coming in, but they were unable to put together a run to repeat as champions and bowed out in 3rd place. Before that, they had an impressive run in the Star Ladder that didn't end until they ran into Alliance in the finals. Now, one of the scariest things about Empire is that despite the fact that the team is obviously struggling to find its identity since the roster shift, they're still winning enough games to always be in the playoff and finals mix in almost every tournament they enter. And this is going to be no different. I mean, and that's really, to me, that tells you just how good Empire and how talented they are. Right now, everyone sees them as a team that's in a bit of a down slump. They're having a bit of a down period compared to where they were 1, 2, 3, 4 on back to 2012. At that time, they were so dominant that they're still making it to the finals and into the playoffs of almost every tournament they enter, and they're considered to be having a down slump right now. So don't confuse down slump with weak. Empire is anything but. Kaipi, they're going to be looking to get some surprises under their belt early. And if there's one thing that I would identify as a key factor for Kaipi or anyone who plays against Team Empire, it's that you need to come out and land the first blow. Empire, since the loss of Funnic, has become a team that, and there are a lot of teams like this. I talk a lot about teams that are reliant on momentum. Empire, if they come out, get a good win, or just put together good team fights early on, even in just the first match, they tend to be able to ride that to a dominant performance. But whenever they are knocked out of their game plan, whenever they do come under assault and they end up feeling a little bit out of rhythm early on, that's really where they struggle, and that's where the teams that are able to beat them tend to get their wins. So bans and picks coming out. Wisp and Bad Rider banned out by Kaipi. We see Nyx and Darkseer taken out by Empire. Empire happy to first pick the Lifestealer, Magnus, and Keeper of the Light to extremely support Scottie Pippen-esque heroes coming out first for them. Now, I have not broadcasted Kaipi in a long time, and when I say a long time, we're talking going all the way back to 2012. In fact, this is the first time I've ever broadcasted them live. I did a repcast of them a while ago, and that was obviously way before they added Eternal Envy. And they're a team that I really think has a ton of potential. And so long as they get more and more opportunities to perform, they're going to be able to show us some surprising things. And with Eternal Envy, the experience he brings, and of course the track record of putting together a squad which has gone on to be one of the most successful squads early on here in 2013, I think they have all the potential in the world. And a win against Empire today would be great, not just for their reputation, but for their morale as well. Empire, they're certainly going to have different things in mind. Seeing the puck pick up to go with the Lifestealer, no surprise there. Puck, a hero that's played extremely well by both Scandal and Vigos. Lifestealer probably going to be farmed by Blow Your Brain. No real surprise there. And Shadow Demon, just as strong a support hero as you're going to see. Speaking of strong supports, Bane going to be the third pickup coming out of Kaipi, taking a play out of Empire's playbook. Not to say Empire's the only team that runs Bane. Many have come around to it, but if there's any team that I think popularized Bane in the last 3 months or so that really brought that hero to the forefront, Empire deserves at least a little bit of credit there. So Kaipi holding off on trying to bring out any sort of picks. I'm really surprised to see the Lone Druid make it all the way through the first pick phase without being picked, given he wasn't banned. And again, that does come down to personal style and personal preference. Some teams just don't like them. And Empire, really, I've seen Empire run the Druid before. He just doesn't fit into their game plan too much. They like to play a much more aggressive, get in your face, punch hard, punch fast kind of a style compared to a lot of teams who go for a more well-rounded approach. Kaipi nonetheless bans him out, and no reason to take the chance on giving that away. Empire taking out the Gyro and the Phantom Lancer, obviously wanting to take away the carry potential that Kaipi could bring to bear. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see maybe a DK band out next, perhaps even a Luna. Luna, a very good option, honestly, for both teams. And when I look at what Empire already has in the Shadow Demon and the Lifestealer, given Keeper of the Light is already picked up by Kaipi, I really suspect that they may end up running an offensive tri-lane here. I mean, Empire, again, even though they're not really as aggressive as they were or were as known to be not long ago, they're still a team that loves to get into an aggressive tri-lane if and when they can. Keeper of the Light, an excellent hero in so many regards, but you can abuse him early, especially at level 1, and that's really where Empire does shine as a squad, is fighting and getting advantages levels 1 through 3. They are just excellent in their movement, their decision-making, and they're willing to roll the dice, can take a risk as well. And Keeper of the Light, before he hits level 3, before he has 1 point into Illuminate and 2 into Chakra, so he can support his own mana, plus the mana of at least one more person in his lane, he can be seen as a little bit weak-ish. He's still an excellent hero, make no mistake, but he is open to being abused, especially by a hero like Lifestealer who can open wounds off of the Shadow Demon, disrupting to lead things off, with the Soul Catcher just to give the bonus damage. It's just very, very deadly, and a lot of supports can fit into that. Jakiro would be an excellent support here. Lina and Leshrac not banned out by Kaipi. I'm really surprised in that, and I think a Leshrac pick here for Empire would be absolutely brilliant, would give them the ability to not only go for a pick-and-push style, would make them very strong in the early phases of the game as well as into the mid-game when Lifestealer really hits his peak, but it would give them the ability to push after pick. So when you have a hero like Puck already on your team, the ability to pick and push is absolutely paramount. So Lina taken out by Kaipi. We'll see if Empire wants to go that direction or not. Still has a lot of options open to them regardless. They could honestly run, if they wanted to run a dual carry strat, Clinks could fit in here as well. They could safe lane the Clinks, run the Lifestealer Shadow Demon +1, and an aggressive tri-lane, then send the Puck mid. I actually think that would serve them really well. Lifestealer is one of those heroes who does need another damage dealer on his team to really feel free, because he does have to have a certain core set of items. And so, the same is true of Clinks. So, I mean, if they decide to do that, there is going to be a period of vulnerability for them. But it's an option I think that's worth keeping in mind. Kaipi, Luna really, looking at the carries still remaining, Luna would be an excellent choice. Dragon Knight is actually really good against Lifestealer because of the bonus armor that he gets from Dragon's Blood, and Lifestealer obviously physical DPS, really reliant on the 6 seconds that he has under cover of Rage for Magic Immunity. And if you have a hero who's going to be a primary damage dealer in the middle phases of the game, you can take advantage of the fact that DK is just so hard to bring down and extend those fights out and then counter-initiate on the Lifestealer with a Dragon Tail after he does initiate in. So Empire going to get the Bounty Hunter. I think that jives with what I was saying so far as their lineup and what they might want to do with an offlane. That does tell me, though, that they're very, very likely to be running a defensive tri-lane instead of an offensive tri-lane. I don't hate that at all. It's very, very stable and nice way to play. But it certainly does tell us that they want to be out. They want to get out and they want to get aggressive early. And when I was talking about with the Puck, the ability to pick and push is always going to be up there with the Puck because of his reach. He just has such a huge sphere of influence, especially once he adds an item like a Blink Dagger. So Kaipi actually going to go ahead and pick up the Anti-Mage. And it's interesting to me. I mean, Anti-Mage never really disappeared. There's a Leshrac pick. By the way, I think Lesh just fits in beautifully with this lineup. It's going to give them so much damage. So much damage output. And the nice thing about Lesh is he gives you mixed damage as well. So they're going to have physical damage they can rely on out of the Lifestealer. They're going to have magic damage out of Puck and out of Leshrac. But, of course, Edict being mixed damage, Split Earth, and so on and so forth. It's a nice position to be in the mid-game. And it prevents that situation where you're all in on one or the other. You're all in on the idea of physical damage, and the enemy team can counter that either with a hero pick or just with item builds. Or you, as we've often seen, a team that can just utterly wipe out another team with magic damage, but then all of a sudden the BKBs begin to come out on the enemy side, and you just run out of time, basically. So Juggernaut, a pickup from Kaipi. I really like the way this looks, and I mean, looking at the way they're going to want to do this, where the Juggernaut's going to likely end up, I do believe, is going to be in the off lane. And I'm going to take it that they're anticipating it is going to be a defensive tri lane once that Bounty Hunter was picked up. Not to say it absolutely has to be. They could still offensively tri lane it and just give the Bounty as good a start as they possibly can. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how these lanes are going to work themselves out. Scandal is going to be on the Bounty, so no surprise he will be handling that blow, farming him up. And we'll just keep an eye on things at least for the moment. So let's go ahead and run through our lineups while we have a moment. We'll start with Empire. As mentioned, Scandal is making his way to the off lane, so he will be taking Bounty there. That's going to indicate a defensive tri-lane for Empire. Puck going to be handled in mid by Vigos, who I offered to buy him a bottle of his favorite booze if he actually ran under the proper name. Just once, it would make me happy, but not the case here today. Shadow Demon going to be handled by Silent. SS, Blow Your Brain, going to be farming up the Lifestealer, and Leshrac going to be handled by the captain, Mr. Goldblack, on the other side of the river. We got Bane, and I don't know if these are the players' real names. Again, I'll be blunt. I'm not super familiar with Kaipi, especially since they've... I mean, the last time I broadcast them was months ago, so they may have had people swapped in, swapped out. I'm going to just call these players out by the names they have listed. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hopefully, they'll either change their names and start running under proper names, or I'll be corrected and be lined out. But anyway, Zizu, which is an awesome name, by the way, going to be handling our Bane. Magnus going to be handled in mid by, I'm going to guess that's Arisi, something like that, who is doing the Magnus dance. No reason not to. Hey, I'm excited to be here too, my friend. Pile I Die going to be on our Keeper of the Light. We're going to have Bone playing our Bonnet. I guess that could be. Either way, I'm probably going to call him Bone. Playing on our Juggernaut and the Anti-Mage. Going to be farmed up by Eternal Envy. So, it looks like Kaipi's actually going to be running an offensive tri-lane here, which, I mean, I don't mind this because it is going to give Eternal Envy a really nice start against Scandal, and Anti-Mage is just going to have an easy time against the Bounty Hunter, no doubt about it. But the Bounty just can't afford the trade damage, can't afford to stay too close. Once 1 point goes into Mana Break, he is going to be able to melt down the mana of the Bounty to the point that he just won't be able to reliably Shadow Walk away. This is very chancy for them on the side of Kaipi, though, and there are a lot of defensive measures here for Empire, and this is what worries me for Kaipi. Anytime you put a Keeper of the Light into an offensive tri-lane like this, remember I was talking about how reliant he is in particular on those first 3 levels. You're going to be suffering in terms of your experience gain out of the offensive tri-lane to begin with. And we can see, I mean, he's going to be able to do that. But you're going to be a little slow to 3 to begin with. You're very squishy, as is Bane, no doubt about it. And you're up against a chain of heroes here that if they catch you out of position at all, you're just going to be in trouble. They can lead off with the Disruption, then the follow-up Split Earth, and then Open Wounds to secure the kill. The Rage on Blow Your Brain going to be very, very important as well. So they can't afford to make any mistakes. That's what I mean by chancy. As we can see, they're actually doing quite well already. And they should be able to continue to do well. They just cannot make a mistake at all. If they begin to fall behind in levels even more so than they're going to because they are in an offensive tri-lane, heroes like Juggernaut, Bane, and Keeper of the Light are just not going to be able to stand up to the pure punching power that this combination, Shadow Demon, Leshrac, and the Lifestealer are going to be able to bring to bear. And we can already see the clarities being used. They know this is a very critical time. They're using the Enfeeble to try and shut down Lifestealer's farm. Very, very smart out of them. But this is really where all the action's going to be. The top lane, again, the Anti-Mage and the Bounty Hunter, I don't think is going to be any surprise to anyone to see Anti-Mage doing well. Yeah, he's at 12 last hits already, so Envy having no problem finding his farm there, and Bounty going to have to play very, very cautiously in that matchup. And here in mid, Magnus versus Puck. Both heroes should be able to find their farm. Shockwave is going to be able to last hit well for Magnus. He'll be bottle crowing, as we can already see. I'm pretty sure he just had his bottle dropped off to him. Yeah, he's already pre-runing. Going to find himself a regen, so fortunate in that. But as we can see, and this is where things get chancy, Kaipi was kind of in a sweet spot, and I'll explain that as best I can. Right about here, where we were, is a bit of a sweet spot in an offensive tri-lane with the Keeper of the Light, because the Keeper can position himself over here, or he can hang around right about here and still be safe. whenever you're in this position right now, you're really grouped up, and your enemy is going to be able to abuse, the defensive tri-lane will be able to abuse the jungle advantage a little bit more than they can in that sweet spot. And obviously being closer to your enemy's tower is generally worse, but it's just the way the dynamic of this lane tends to work in general when you have a Keeper of the Light functioning out of an offensive tri-lane. And it's one of the more interesting things. If you talk to pro players, I mean, the common knowledge in Dota is that you want to stay sucked backwards as much towards your tower as you possibly can. But this is actually a decision that pro players will often make, and I don't know that it's intentional or not. It looks like they obviously the creep wave pushed a bit, and they're not auto-attacking or anything. But it is very much viable if you make the conscious decision to just shove the creep wave up under your enemy's tower when you're facing an offensive tri-lane, because that makes them suffer even more in terms of experience. The defensive tri-lane will always have a slight experience advantage, and that can be elongated or can be extended, I should say, just by creep pulls and that kind of thing. But a lot of kill potential on both sides. Juggernaut doesn't have his tier 1 boots yet. He will have them at 150 gold. Very, very important in terms of synergy. And here we go. There's the disruption. Blow Your Brain is enfeebled. Follow-up Split Earth is there. And there's the open wounds. A lot of damage being done. First blood is going to go to Blow Your Brain, though. Actually, SS manages to take it. They're going to get a return kill on Winter, maybe. Winter's going for it. Excuse me, what am I saying Winter for? On a Bone. And Blow Your Brain uses his wand charges and free Winter, a.k.a. Gold Black. That's what I was trying to put down. And the Illuminate's going to be there. Wow, Shadow Demon going to get a disruption off after he eats the Illuminate. A lot of damn. Oh, good shot with the Split Earth, and now Zissou ends up dropping as well. Pylite die. Better get the hell out of dodge. He's in. Oh, I thought Blow for sure was going to turn and open wounds him. Opted not to. As it is, it's 2-1. And Empire, this is what I was talking about in terms of this being just a very important time for this offensive tri-lane. They got one out of this, so it's not the end of the world. But what's very important is that Empire is slowly inching themselves ahead. Leshrac ended up dropping there. But they can't afford to really have an exchange like that again. That's the one time they're probably going to be able to get away with that and still have the potential. Because right now, everyone is still rather low. And you are going to see a gank, or not a gank attempt, but you're going to see Lesh moving back. He may want to engage with a fresh health pool. If they can spot out Zissou, now he's just going to show his face. But anyway, a lot of action likely to take place down here. Juggernaut with a plentiful mana pool. He has 1 point into his healing ward. Haven't talked a whole lot about the other lanes just because of how pivotal the success of this lane is for both teams. Taking a look at the last hits, we can see the Lifestealer is not having the best farm of his life, but he's not hurting that badly either, sitting at 17 in the face of the 11 of Jugger. So Jugger is at least getting himself some items. He's going to go ahead and dip back into the shop, pick himself up a magic stick. Very wise pickup. Here in mid, we can see Mag and Puck continuing to go back and forth. Puck and Mag basically, and yeah, this is working out basically how I said it would. It's going to be a wash. Both heroes are going to have no problem finding their farm. Both can rune and pre-rune very effectively. Both can take some chances. Very hard to gank or kill both of them, and we can see neither team has put any emphasis on that so far with 6 minutes behind us. And the top lane going as completely anticipated. Eternal Envy just getting the job done farm-wise. He's at 32 last hits in 6 minutes. Not legendary farm, but certainly more than adequate. And a double damage rune spotted out here by Blow Your Brain, holding it for Vigas as he moves his way down to grab it, taking that away from the Mag, forcing him to Bottle Crow once again. And looks like Vigas is thinking about it. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and move up here. He's got Coil. If he oh, Zissou. Oh, there it is. The Coil going to catch him. And the immediate follow-up, but the nice Nightmare. Can they clean him up? No, they get one, but it's going to cost them Blow Your Brain for sure. Disruption's there, but it's a day late and a dollar short. SS now under attack. And, oh, Bone kind of stutter-stepped it there. He's going to be healed up. And here comes the Mag. Shockwave going to be there. And, oh, good. Oh, nice RP. Locking down Vigas before he could get off another attack. The magic stick that we had just seen the Jugger buy actually saved his life for sure there. 3-3, good exchange for KP. Very well done. And I thought, yeah, as soon as I saw Bane take a few steps out, I knew he was going to get coiled, and he did. But the follow-up there, we're all even. 6 kills on the board, split evenly up. 3-3 as we roll past 7 minutes in. Now taking a look at the Anti-Mage. We'll see if he wants to go treads first. He very well might. I don't think he has to. He can just rush out the Battle Fury because I don't think that Empire is going to be putting a whole lot of pressure on him right now. I could be totally wrong. Never mind. That's what you get for opening your mouth. They're going to go, and here's the problem I have with this. It's very hard to kill off an anti-mage to begin with. Track's going to help, certainly. But they're going to be moving up here with 2 supports, level 3, level 4. So, I mean, they're in decent shape. Envy's already level 7. He's gone with the burning build. So he's got 1 point into everything, plus points into his stats. That's going to tank him up at least a little bit more, make him more survivable. And if they mess this up, they've slowed down Lifestealer. Lifestealer is off of the lane right now. He cannot get into the lane. This is going to be so hard for them to execute. Here we go. There's a disruption. Scandal's right there. Split Earth is not going to be there. And that's what I was talking about. Even if they connect there, I don't know that they have the damage to kill him before he blinks away. And now moving Puck up. Okay, this makes more sense. If you're going to do this, go for it. Go for it completely. There's a blink, and Puck's right there. Got Coil. Going to drop it. Now they'll be able to execute it. And this should be a track kill, and it will be. In the meantime, though, Blow Your Brain forced off down here. So they get the anti-mage off the board. They're taking a lot of damage. Looks like they may just go ahead and trade tier 1 for tier 1. Don't know that they'll be able to save this tower. And Blow just finding his farm as best he can. But that kill on anti-mage did allow Jugger to catch back up. Now, obviously, Jugger doesn't have quite as much carry potential in the absolute long term as the Lifestealer does. Now he's going to be spotted out. And open wounds. Nope, not going to do it. Empire reacts after bringing down the top tier 1. And going to force them back up under the tower. Level 4 on Bane, level 5 on Keeper, so they're looking good there. Slowing down the anti-mage, very important. And the fact that they did manage to keep their tier 1 bottom intact makes it worth it. If they had traded towers there, I don't think it's worth it for them. But as is, they're looking all right. Scandal is level 7, so he's going to start hunting around. And this is probably the most crucial part of the game for Empire. 10 minutes in, roughly. From 10 to 25 minutes is when they're going to need to get work done. They're going to need to keep Mag from getting a Blink Dagger. They're going to need to try to keep Jugger from farming up 1 or 2 more items. Looking at the way this game's going to go, I would really like to see Jugger go ahead and get himself a set of drums and then maybe a Shadow Blade. Give himself some damage to deal with Empire in the mid-game. And give himself some survivability at that. Now, he's going to go ahead and engage, just be Omni Slash. Not sure what Blow Your Brain was thinking there. I think he just forgot that Omni Slash goes through Magic Immunity. And here we go. Zisu's trapped in. Oh, he has him trapped! Follow up the splitter. They're going to manage to get one. Bone was able to phase his way through. And yes, I agree. Bounty Hunter likes it, thinks it's hilarious. But we can take a look at the bounty. That should be track kill number 2. If he can continue to rack those up, they're going to be in great shape. Blow is going to rotate to top. Now, this is going to be a great situation. And Kaipi has to make up their mind if they want to allow this to extend. If they can just keep Blow in the face of Eternal Envy, I mean, it's 30 to 49, 50 last hits, and I'm a little surprised, actually, that, I mean, Envy did die, so that hurts him. He's got just short of 50 last hits at 10.5 minutes in. That's okay. It's not bad. It's professional level farm. But against the Bounty Hunter, he should have had a much easier time. Much, much easier time. Should have many, many more last hits than that, even with his death. And Scandal going to spot out Pili died. There's Magnus showing his face. The tier 1 bottom is going to end up dropping. Empire's going to look to engage off of this. I don't know that they can, though. This is going to be real chancy if they do. Yeah, I think this is the right call. Looks like they're just going to try to maybe catch a straggler to pull back. Nope, they're going to go for it. And here comes the Blade Fury. Zissou followed up, but Gold Black's going to be cleared up. Here comes Puck. Zissou going to end up dropping. RP going to be spent on just Scandal. SS looking for safety. And 1 for 1 the trade. That really is, honestly, could have gone a lot worse for them. I don't know why they decided to fight that out. Their supports were not in the best of shape. And we can see Lifestealer's not even there. I guess if for no other reason, and this is the freedom of, hang on, they're going to get a kill on Keeper. Now that makes it worthwhile. That was Scandal. That's another track kill he just added to his total. And that's probably what they're thinking here. If they can free the map up for Blow Your Brain and occupy the rest of Kaipi and just get track kills, even if they lose these fights, let alone break even. If they break even with track kills, that's actually a big win for them, especially when they're fighting 4-on-4 and 4-on-5. And now the disruption's there. Follow up on time. That's how you do it. Eternal Envy going to be dropped down again. Mag does not have his RP. Skewers back in illusion, and this is actually really bad for that Jugger. And he is going to be able to get a kill. Blow Your Brain, Nightmare. Oh, he had Omni Slash. Very nice. Not going to be able to get the Puck. Knew he was going to die. He chased way too far, way too much personnel from Empire there. There's the Rage through the Shockwave. Now engaging on a Pili die. He's going to infest out and get another kill. That's going to be another kill on Zissou. That's a full wipe. And yeah, that was actually just given away by Kaipi. Anti-Mage was dead to rights. They should have just cut their losses there. Engaging without RP against this team of Empire with the AoE silence on the puck, with the pure mixed damage they have, out of Leshrac and the physical damage of Blow Your Brain, they just can't afford to do this. So it's 12-6. Empire is now doubling them up. And more importantly, I want to say that's now at least 6 track kills. And yeah, look at that. That is basically the difference in the entire game so far. Been very close up until this point. They went in one at a time. Jugger dove way too hard. And that's an example where a hero and a player has to recognize that their value to the team is not so low that they can just trade for a support. He has to know that it's much more important for him to stay alive than it is for him to die getting a kill. That's never going to be optimal for them when they're up against a bounty hunter. That is never going to work out for them. And it's never going to work out for them when they have an anti-mage. Because right now, you have some good AoE magic damage in Illuminate and Shockwave. But other than that, your entire physical damage output outside of Brain Sap, I mean, man, Brain Sap's pure damage, but your entire damage output is reliant on Juggernaut until Anti-Mage gets his items. And you had already lost the Anti-Mage. So that's just, you know, and you can understand why. It just, players have to play more disciplined than that. Because not only did that cost them that fight and a full wipe, it cost them their Tier 1 tower. KP playing well so far, but again, just a mental mistake that I think really put them behind. And I talked about it during the pregame. Empire is a team who will take a fight like that and a win like that and go, okay, we're just going to play ultra aggressive. And yeah, see what I mean? They know they're ahead. They are not a team who gets ahead then falls back to farm their lead. They're a team who gets ahead and then says, oh, okay, you have a bloody nose. How about I just tear your head off? And that's what they're going to try to do with the Infest now into Vegas. They're going to look to find a target. KP wisely pulling back, realizing that not a man to be found for Empire on the map. And Empire is a team. If you don't see anyone from Empire, they are looking for you. They are trying to kill you. They are not a team who is just going to, you know, by an odd concatenation. That word I know what the word means and I could spell it. But I always screw up the pronunciation. I can't remember if it's concatenation, something like that. Anyway, they're not a team who, by some sequence of events, just winds up all not on the map at a given time. But they're playing passively. That's just not Empire Dota. 15.5 minutes in, 18 kills on the board. 2/3 of them belong to the Empire squad. Envy still hasn't committed to anything other than treads. They may split push here. Empire now moving their way down, though, and Scandal's going to lead the way under cover of Shadow Walk. He's going to spot out Jugger. And this could be bad for Envy. And, yep, there we go. There's the silence immediately on the Jugger. He's going to try to phase away, but he can't go anywhere. And Envy just going to have to force to pull back now. That's another track kill. Actually, I didn't see if he tracked him or not, now that I think about it. Either way, Scandal's in great shape. We'll put it that way. Taking a look at the last hits, we can see the top 2 on the board actually belong to Empire, but I bet as soon as I flash in net worth, it's going to be a different story. Yep! Top 2 CSers are actually 4th and 5th position in net worth just because of the strength of track. And what's really, really worrisome right now if you're Kaipi is you've fallen behind the level 1 track. Falling behind a level 2 track is real easy to do. Level 2 track is when that ability really just starts feeling nuts. Whenever you get 2 or 3 unanswered kills and all of a sudden everybody in the world can one-shot by a blink dagger, that kind of thing. And Blow. He seriously just, that happened? Yeah, they're going to catch him with a Fiend's Grip. He doesn't have anything to invest into. They're going to invest everything to bring him down. But that was actually really funny. He just like went right past him, and just because of this little tree right here that ended up cut down, he was right here. And they actually didn't see him. They had to double back to find him. But very high value kill for Kaipi. That's going to help them out a lot. Taking a look at Lifestealer. He still hasn't finished his armlet quite yet. He's very close. Empire may go ahead and decide to take a shot at this Tier 1. Puck with a haste rune. Going to take some damage. You need a tower shot or 2. Phase shifts out to avoid that last shot. And we'll see how hard they want to contest this. With Lesh there, they're going to be able to melt this down pretty quickly if they commit to it. But with these 3 in particular, that's a lot of anti-push. Illuminate, Shockwave, and Juggernaut. and his willingness to engage in just about anything because of the strength of Omni Slash and Blade Fury. So they are going to back off for now. And we're just going to see another infest into Vigos. And here comes the puck. Going to throw out the orb. And not going to jump to it. Zizou and Envy able to make it back to safety. Take a look at the gold graph. It has leveled off, so at the very least, KP has stopped the bleeding. This isn't going to help, though. Magnus spotted out. Splitter's actually off the mark, so Gold Blacks has made a couple of mistakes, and he might get away because of that. Nope, never mind. The damage from Demonic Purge, more than enough, and now Gold Black going to need an Omni Slash. That's just level 1, though. He's only level 9. Lesh will end up cleaned up, and SS will be able to make it away. By the skin of his teeth, makes it back. In the meantime, KP does manage to take a tower. We've got all the tier 1s save for 1 down on the map right now. That 1 remaining belongs to KP. And I feel like they've really done a great job of leveling off after that disastrous mid-engagement. Scandal now, level 11, has level 2 track. And this is where they need to be a bit more active. And this is where, and this is kind of what I was talking about in the pregame as well, where some of the controversy over their latest lineup, the way they run their lineups and so on. Empire is a team that traditionally has never let off the gas, but this is something they don't do often. Just fall back and farm like this, especially with a bounty hunter on the team, especially with a combination like a Shadow Demon and a Leshrac. And I'd be surprised if they keep doing it, especially with a puck, by the way, which makes it so much more effective to attempt to gank an Anti-Mage, because if you can spot him out, a silence keeps him locked down, to say nothing of Coil. Right now, though, both teams taking it easy. The net worth, Anti-Mage has crept back up to the top. Juggernaut making his way up as well. Taking a look at Jugger's items, he is going to go ahead and get the drums. Opting to go straight for Manta, though, or maybe even just a Yasha. Hell, he might go S and Y. That would actually make a lot of sense on him as well. But the drums, I feel like a great item for him. He'll have level 2 Omni Slash. Omni Slash, really, the utility of the ability is quite low until he does get at least level 2. But for now, he's making decent progress. Magnus with his Blink Dagger up. Puck has his Blink Dagger up as well, so he's in pretty good shape. That armlet's still not done for poor Blow Your Brain. Seems like the guy has done nothing but slowly farm the jungle. And at 20 minutes, Kaipi, I feel like, has managed this quite well. And Empire, actually, even though they're ahead, has got to... Yeah, look at this. Already beginning to drop further down. They've got to be feeling nervous. I don't like that they just spent the last few minutes farming. I don't feel like that's given them a lot. Obviously, they need their core items. Items like a Ghost Scepter on Lesh, very nice to have. Mech's going to be complete very soon on the Shadow Demon. He's about 700 gold out from it now. And they're going to engage on Envy. There's the silence. Can they get him? No, RP going to be just enough to buy him time. The blink away from Envy. Going to get him to safety. And a terrible, terrible engagement for Kaipi that time. And Puck trying to find his safety. We'll find it in the river. But this is what KP can now do. And this is what I was talking about. Empire, I mean, what has this bounty done other than farm right now? He's got 2,800 gold, and that's grand. But this is not why you pick a bounty hunter up against an Anti-Mage. And even though they had the lead, that's going to disappear real soon. 5 minutes from now, 25 minutes, if there isn't a big fight that goes their way or a track kill, that will be south of 0 in favor of KP. I guarantee it. You're going to start to see Anti-Mage's farm kick in soon. The Battle Fury is done on Envy. He has 2,100 gold already towards whatever item he wants to get next. With a Magnus on squad, I don't think he's going to be building a BKB. He'll just want to guarantee that he can get as much as he can out of Empower. So probably just going to go something real cookie cutter like a Manta into a Heart. And yeah, Yasha already on the way to him. And now the onus is really on Empire, but with Blow Your Brain all the way down below Magnus in terms of total net worth, they just have given Blow very little farm priority. He's going to have an armlet soon, and that'll certainly help. But with him so far down, I don't know that they really have the ability to take a fight against KP if RP's up. Level 2 Omni Slash now available for Jugger as well. The mech is going to be basically is done right now on Pile I Die. And KP has just really waited this out really well. Showed great patience. They didn't overextend themselves. They protected their towers, but they did not commit to fights that they didn't have to commit to. And now the game is completely in their hands. Empire is going to be under a lot of pressure to execute now. That 15 to 25-minute stretch, they had a great start with that very nice 5-man wipe on KP in mid. But since then, they have been playing very passively. And this is what KP can do now. They can just run as a pack of 5 while Envy does his own thing. And that's not going to hurt them too much. We're going to see them go ahead and look for a smoke gank. And this is just going to free more time up. I mean, if all they need to get here is one hero. Oh, who did he just blink on? There we go. I heard it. He blinked. I got confused which direction he went. He managed to blink on the puck. But yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. They got one hero. Now they can fall back, and this is why. With puck down, that's a guarantee, minute, 2 minutes, that Envy just continues to farm, and Empire can do nothing. And soon they may honestly take a shot at Roche. Envy's almost got his Manta style up. And I feel like KP has impressed me. They have played this just so smart. Empire, I really think, has let this slip away from them considerably. They have a great lineup to shut down an Animage. They have a great lineup to be fighting. And they have not fought in a long time, yeah. Remember I said 25 minutes? We'll check it. We'll check back in a minute and a half. That's going to be south of 0. Envy, only 300 gold away from his ultimate orb. Empire finally looks like they want to bring down this tier 1 bottom. Now, the one advantage they have is Magnus did spend his RP. They've got 45 seconds till it's off cooldown. So this is an opportunity for them to take this tower. But on the other side, Animage, yeah, not a problem. That tower is essentially dead. And that should be denied, I would imagine. And here we go, Blow Your Brain. Gonna be caught with Fiend's Grip. There's the Illuminate to follow it up. Coil does go down, but Blow in trouble. He does infest out. But with Envy TPing in, and yeah, he's going headhunting. He's feeling big and bad, and he should. He's in great shape right now. So, Blow Your Brain still infested in here into this creep. Knows he can't come out quite yet. The rest of Empire is making their way that way. Omni Slash was spent. RP is going to be up right now. And let's see, we might actually have another big fight. Now, this is a crucial fight for Empire. Crucial's not even the word. Mech is done on both sides. If Empire loses this fight, and they have a bounty, so as long as they break even or at least come close and have some track kills, they'll be fine. But if this goes horrendously bad for Empire, it could honestly change the game completely. Because Envy's quickly hitting snowball mode. He has a Manta done right now if he wants it, basically. And Empire gonna make their way up. There's a sentry down, and there's gonna be counter-warded. Whoa, very close on the skewer. Disruptions there. And Zissou gonna be followed up on. He's gonna be blown up. That's a track kill at the very least. Magnus has RP if he wants to spend it. Thought about it and canceled it. Now he's gonna whiff on it. Blow Your Brain gonna re-engage. An absolute disaster so far for Kaipi. Empire running them back off of their own tower, and 2 caught with the coil. Here comes Puck, ready to re-engage. They're going to clean up the Juggernaut as well. What a disaster for Kaipi. And Empire, looking to have been on life support due to their passivity in this game, takes a win and not a moment too soon. They get the tier 1. They're pushing to the tier 2. Envy. Still going to be in great shape. Still going to have a chance to farm his way into a superb late-game position. Might even be able to save this tower. And yeah, Blow's actually going to be Fiend's Gripped. So he's locked down. Just look how much damage he's taking already. He's just not feeling that deadly at all. So they keep the tier 2 up and they get a return kill on Blow. Does Blow have buyback? Blow does have buyback. He better spend it right now or they're going to lose Roshan. Like right now. Right now, Blow Your Brain. Right now. Okay, or not. Then that's problematic. Good skewer by Mag. There's a disruption to try and bail himself out, but what was he doing there? There's nothing they can do with Blow Your Brain down. They cannot engage this with Blow Your Brain down. What was he doing there? I have no idea. Empire still hanging around, but again, with Blow Your Brain down, they cannot engage, especially with the loss of the Shadow Demon. So, in goes the orb, but it doesn't matter, it's too late. It goes on the Animage. But as it is, Kaipi able to stop the bleeding once again. And that line had come right down to 0 right at when I said it would. And that looked to have been just an absolute disaster for Empire. Or, excuse me, for Kaipi. But the fact that they got the return kill on Blow, and we could see the jump up, and that, shows you that was a big turnaround in that fight. But they got the return kill on Blow, they got the Roshan, and we can see, yeah, the experience is actually in their favor, and the gold already dropping back down towards 0. We're 28 minutes in, 29 kills on the board, 17 of them belong to Empire. But they are hitting that point in the game where Anti-Mage is going to be a huge liability. He's got an Aegis, he's got 2,300 gold in the bank, he's got Manta plus Battle Fury. We'll see what item he wants to pick up next. Honestly, I feel like going for a Butterfly would just be brilliant. The only threat that he really has to him right now is being disrupted, then being soul-catchered and silenced by Puck, and then having the Lifestealer jump on him. That is the only real threat he's under right now. He's only going to get tankier to magic damage as he puts points into his spell shield. But anyway, in the meantime, that bottom tower does end up dropping. Just saw the pings come out. So go creeps is what Empire's saying. And Empire wisely deciding that enough's enough. They have to get back to being active. If they can spot out Envy, they're going to have a chance here. Yep, Envy may end up dead. And he's spotted. Here we go. Up, he is going to blink across. He spent the blink. Can Puck get there? There's a disruption. Puck's going to have to time this just right, but RP! Caught 3! Beautifully timed by Magnus. Going to skewer them back. All of his buddies in position. Right place at the right time to bail out Eternal Envy. And it's going to be a wipe. Scandal and Blow Your Brain making a run for it. No way they should get away here. And it looks like actually Scandal will. Scandal should not have gotten away there. Little miscommunication in the pursuit. But another absolute disaster this time, though, going in favor of Kaipi. 17-16. Kaipi still has never had a kill lead in this game. But I would say the lead more or less in their favor. We take a look at the net worth. We can see Anti-Mage on top by a zillion. He's doubling up the next highest carry. Bounty has 10,000 because of track. But there's only so much a Bounty Hunter is going to contribute. And I mean, he picked up a death, so he kind of has to right now. Given how far behind the Lifestealer is, he has to be able to contribute some more. I mean, he's basically buying items that don't just help himself, but help the whole team. He bought the Vlads, he bought the Deso, the drums, etc. So that makes a lot of sense. But I think they've just run out of time. NV, 5,600 gold in the bank. He's going to be able to run over and one-shot buy a Butterfly real soon. And at that point, I don't know what they do. I mean, hell, even Bone is going to have himself a Manta style momentarily. And Blow Your Brain, we're at 30 minutes in, and Blow Your Brain's inventory looks like it should have 10 minutes ago. He just got so little farm priority. And the big question mark, the big head scratcher, is why Empire decided to back off and let Envy farm. They have a team that wants to fight, needs to fight, especially against the lineup they're up against. But they backed off and spent a very sizable chunk of the mid-game just farming. And by then, some of the items that had to be up for KP were up. And they've been able to just roll from there. Gold Black's added a 4-step to his inventory. That Ghost Scepter has not really been that big of a factor, to be honest. Shadow Demon, again, has had that mech up for a while. Puck looks like he's on his way to a Scythe of Ice. Scythe of Ice, probably the biggest hope they have at this point. If they can get a Scythe up on the Puck, and they're able to lock down the Anti-Mage reliably, they'll be in good shape. But that is a long ways to go, and in that entire time, he actually did get a BKB. That's a little surprising to me, really. I mean, it's Magic Community is always excellent, and he's just going to kill the Courier, because why not? Just leave it hanging. This ward right here had spotted it. Just leaving it hanging. Don't worry about it, bro. And yeah, I mean, Envy shows up, and everyone has to run, basically. They know they can't really fight him. Yeah, look at this. Now with Puck there, they may think they can. But anyway, for the moment, Envy just playing man mode. There's going to be a track on him. And he will be disrupted now. Soul Catcher up as well. They may want to engage. Puck going to be chased out. Here comes Magnus. He's got BKB up, looking for a target. Not going to spend it on Puck. Now he's going to find Blow Your Brain. Blow Your Brain going to go ahead and rage. 2 targets right there. He's got RP if and when he wants it, but gonna wait on it. Wise choice there. Forcing the buyback out of Puck. Makes a sight to fight. Oh, nice coil. Got a bunch. Can they follow it up? Here comes Scandal engaging on the Mag. Mag is going to be silenced out. They can't get off the RP. Blow your brain now on Pylite Eye. Eternal Envy going to lay into the puck. There's the Mana Void. Not nearly enough. Infest in. Going to keep Blow your brain up and fighting a while longer. And Puck continuing to try and bounce around. He is cleaned up by the Anti-Mage. Pylite Die. Should die and will. Triple kill in the meantime for Envy. Another disruption is there. Here comes Blow your brain again. And the Jugger and Envy still standing for KP. Puck died, bought back, and died again. That's crippling for them. And now Blow your brain going to be engaging onto Jugger. That doesn't make any sense at all. Could not expect to get away with that. Eternal Envy has 1,000,000 gold. It does have the Aegis Fade right before our eyes. We come out at 20-20, but that's actually a gigantic win for KP. I was talking about how clutch and how important that Scythe of Ice is going to be for Puck to get up, for them to really be able to hold the line. He died, bought back, and died again. So he has no gold. He has all the way to a Mystic Staff to go if he wants to get that item up in any due time at all. And this is now KP's game to win. Game to lose, I should say. 4,000 gold their advantage, 10,000 experience. And this is just wonderfully played by them. I was knocking them earlier, and I still feel they deserved it. That engagement in mid was just goofy. They ran in one at a time and died one at a time. Played way too aggressive. And that should have been a huge turning point. That should have been Empire's moment to just take a leap in this game and not look back. To pressure the Anti-Mage, pressure towers, make him come fight. But they didn't seal the deal, and Kaipi played extremely patiently, have shown great teamwork in these team fights in the last 10 minutes, and it's likely to give them a Game 1 win. Anti-Mage is hitting for 353 damage with the Empower on him. He actually is opting to go for an Abyssal Blade. He's got the Skull Basher up already, not a bad choice. I really thought he'd opt for a Butterfly, but given that Blow Your Brain just is not feeling that threatening right now, I mean, he's still Lifestealer, so he's going to do damage. There's an RP going to lock him down, going to be skewered back, and they're going to actually catch Scandal as well. Blow still up and going. Envy now engaging out. He's silenced. Coil catches a couple. There's the Illuminate coming from downtown. Scandal making a run for it. Blow Your Brain forced to pull back. Envy's going to go ahead and go for it. Mech gets them back up and fighting. BKB activated on the Magnus. Split Earth going to be off the mark. But so far, the fight stringing itself out. Mana Void attempted there. Demonic Purge on Envy. Now they want to re-engage. You will be able to blink away. Track up on Jugger. Do they want to come back out? There is a disruption, but I don't think they can do much with it. Really bizarre fight there. I think a little bit of bad communication on Kaipi. I was just bragging on them. They should have picked the target there. Blow Your Brain, able to infest and get away. And they were just really spread out. Their damage was a little too spread out on Empire, so neither team loses anything. Rosha's going to be back up in about 2 minutes, and that might just be what they do. Just turtle it out, look to take a flight. They have a team that can fight very well in a small enclosed space because of Magnus, because of Jugger, because of Illuminate, and so on. Because of Blinding Light in particular. That's actually what I was going to say. Him opting to go for an Abyssal Blade, which he basically has, by the way, actually does make a lot more sense than I think a Butterfly now that I think twice about it. Because Blow Your Brain, look at this. Blow Your Brain just doesn't feel threatening. Envy just YOLOing his way up under the tier 2 bottom and just not worried about it. He's hitting very, very hard. And now here comes Mag, looking to skewer, not going to land it. They do take the tier 2 for free. And again, mere moments until we see Roshan up and ready to roll. Scandal has added plate mail to his inventory, most likely on his way to an Assault Cuirass, one would think. Again, just looking to help his entire team out. Blow Your Brain has a Basher of his own. But the net worth is just out of control. Anti-Mage is doubling anyone on the map. The second highest on the board is his own teammate, and he's doubling him. Take a look at the GPM. He's at 651. He's in great shape. Absolutely great shape. Take a look at the kill board. We can see Bounty Hunter did his job as much as he could. He's 7-1-5. And I just about every one of those track kills. He did everything, and that's really the only reason Empire's still in this, given the way things have been going for them. But letting off the gas just long enough. Hang on. Coil going to catch 3. There's no follow-up, though. And now, Blow Your Brain infest out. RP going to catch a couple. Can they clean them up? Skewering them back. Blow Your Brain making a run for it. Scandal's going to be nightmared. There's Puck making a run for it up the river. And Scandal going to be man avoided down. Puck going one-on-one with the mag while the rest of the team pursues out the remainder of Empire. And Puck should be able to get away quite safely. Blow your brains down. Now forced to buy back more gold he couldn't afford to spend. Eternal Envy has completed the Abyssal. I mean, in hell, he's just huge. Sell his shreds, get some boots of travel, and then add a butterfly, and he's GG built. Roche now going to be the target. There's a haste rune. And Empire's last stand forthcoming. They cannot lose this Roche. I don't know if they can contest it. He's already dead. Already down to half health. Yeah, they can't get there at all. So that's going to be another Aegis in the back pocket of Kaipi. Going to Anti-Mage. And Kaipi looking good, man. Ready to close this out. Now, one weakness that Empire does have is their team is not that great at defending the Tier 3. They're good at counter initiation, sure. When you have a Puck, when you have a Shadow Demon, they can do that. But what you want when you're defending a Tier 3 is you want to really be able to abuse the choke point. And you can to a certain extent with a coil. But it's not on the par of something like the strength of an RP in that situation. It's not on par with something like the strength of Juggernaut and his ability to dole out a lot of damage with Blade Fury and with Omni Slash to targets that are clustered. Puck, with the AoE silence, is really going to be their #1 chance to hold. Leshrac engaging off of Shadow Demon. That's, basically that's the kind of what I'm driving at. Is you have a really potent counter initiation in Shadow Demon. It's mostly single target. And he has to use it on one target. He cannot just use it on the first person up the hill. And we're going to see Puck engaged upon. Now, Envy's actually going to be locked down. And there's a good split earth. There's the RP, though! He got absolutely everyone! The entire team is gone! What a reverse polarity! Caught all 5 because of the infest of the Lifestealer. Are you kidding me? Magnus! Who are you? I can't even pronounce your name. Arisi. You have played out of your mind. Every RP he's hit has been better than the last, and put a cherry on the sundae with the last one. GG's cold. And Kaipi, who lost to Empire yesterday in the big point battle, came out swinging hard, bloodying the nose of Empire, and now just one game away from knocking Empire out entirely and advancing themselves into the next round of our G1 Western qualifiers. What a fantastic show out of them. And I will ask him in between how to pronounce his name. Playing out of his mind, RP for days. Out of Arisi, Magnus, whatever. Well played, my friend. Envy, 11-2-9, not a bad performance out of him. 738 GPM by the time the Ancient was explode. 40 minutes, 21 seconds, the official game time. 20-28. Kaipi rules in game #1. Empire going to look to turn the bagel into a breadstick, try to tie things up and force a game 3. Kaipi, though, think it's sweep. We'll see which team's up to the task. Coming up next here on One More Game TV2, I am AC. Welcome to each and every one of you. Hope you're enjoying the show. It will be rolling on in just a few minutes. Stick with us.